I am obsessed with essential oils. Essential oils are comprised of the many chemicals inside of roots, bark, seeds, and flowers of plants. They can be obtained through distillation, extraction, or cold pressing. And they're commonly marketed for aromatherapy, topical use, and ingestion by companies like Young Living and doTERRA International. This is the Essential Oils Desk Reference, an 820-page guide written by Young Living founder Gary Young. It contains a personal usage guide, which gives directions on how to use essential oils against ADHD, Alzheimer's, autism, bacterial infections, cancer, Parkinson's, and viral infections, among many others. As one Young Living consultant said, viruses, including Ebola, are no match for Young Living essential oils. This is absolute nonsense. When I say that I'm obsessed with essential oils, I mean that in the sense that one might be horrified or fascinated by a train wreck. Gary Young and experts like him tout essential oils as a substitute for medicine, but none of the oils in his book have been FDA approved for the treatments of any disease, and comprehensive research on their effects hasn't been performed. What is particularly insidious about the idea that essential oils can be used as medicine is that real science is interwoven with incredibly fraudulent claims like these. Scientists frequently turn to nature as a potential source for new drugs, because plants, like humans, face biological threats. When I'm sick, I can go to the hospital or a pharmacy and get medicine, but plants have to mount all of their own defenses. And so they synthesize thousands of molecules with real biological impacts. And the FDA has approved over 50 natural products for medicinal use. Some of them you've likely heard of, like caffeine, nicotine, and CBD, but others may be less familiar to you. In the organic chemistry community, Taxol is the most famous natural product. It was originally isolated from the Pacific Yew in 1971 and later FDA approved as a treatment for ovarian and breast cancers. Salicylic acid was isolated from willow bark in 1838 and can still be found in skincare and cosmetic products today. By making a small change to the structure of salicylic acid, chemists were first able to synthesize aspirin. When scientists edit a molecule found in nature, we say that the new compound is derived from the old one. So for example, aspirin is a derivative of salicylic acid. As a final example, the opioid morphine was originally isolated from poppy flowers, and there are many derivatives of it, including heroin, fentanyl, and oxycodone. But there are two derivatives that I find particularly interesting. Naltrexone is a smoking cessation aid, originally FDA approved in 1984. And naloxone, also known as Narcan, is an absolute miracle drug, capable of reversing the effects of opioid use and preventing thousands of overdose deaths since its FDA approval in 1971. The structures of naltrexone, morphine, and naloxone are incredibly similar. In chemistry, form directs function, so small changes to a molecule can have enormous impact. Not all natural products are immediate winners, though. For centuries, magnolia bark has been used for a variety of ailments, including treating gingivitis and preventing cavities. In 1982, scientists in Japan determined that one of the active ingredients in this bark was hinoki oil. They tested it in a laboratory and found that hinoki oil was in fact capable of inhibiting cavity-causing bacteria. Unfortunately, in 2018, our research group reported that while it was capable of inhibiting bacteria in a laboratory, it was far less effective under conditions closer to those of a human mouth. That's pretty common in the world of drug discovery. Results in a laboratory don't necessarily mean results in the real world. But just because nature couldn't make an effective antibiotic doesn't mean that we can't. In the past 5 years, we've taken all that we've learned from hinoki oil and used it to make dozens of new molecules. And if all of these compounds look kind of similar to you, it's because they are. We performed a structure-activity relationship study to systematically explore how the structure of a molecule can change its activity. By modifying a molecule's size and shape, we can figure out how it works and build compounds that do their jobs more efficiently. It's like cracking a safe with a combination lock. Each digit contributes to cracking the code. And so we broke hinoki up into sections and modified each part. And we tested these new compounds against bacteria and used all the features that were most active to create a better molecule. We made so many compounds that improved upon hinoki oil, but I'll share with you two of my favorites. I work with a variety of bacteria, but the one that you've most likely heard of is methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, or MRSA, a multi-drug resistant bacteria that can cause severe skin infections. HFR 198 is 6 times more effective than hinoki oil at inhibiting MRSA. It works about as well as medication commonly prescribed to patients infected with the bacteria. Another molecule I synthesized, HFR 349, is only about 1.4 times as effective as hinoki oil when it comes to inhibiting MRSA, but it inhibits several bacteria that hinoki oil has no effect on. There are 2 major classes of bacteria, gram-negative and gram-positive. Gram-negative bacteria have 2 cell membranes, and so they are experts at evading antibiotic treatment because it is very difficult to penetrate these membranes. Hinoki oil failed to inhibit any of the gram-negative bacteria I tested it against, but HFR 349 inhibited 3, including bacteria that are responsible for causing wounds or for infecting wounds in combat hospitals, E. coli, a common source of foodborne illness, and V. cholerae, the bacterium responsible for cholera. We're still working on finding the perfect antibiotic, but our results so far make us hopeful that these compounds could one day save lives. This is the story of a single natural product from a single plant, but there are hundreds of stories just like this one. Chemists around the world dedicate their careers to identifying compounds found in plants, examining their biological effects, and trying to figure out how that information can be used to improve our lives. Unfortunately, companies selling essential oils are a part of a predatory industry and have been instrumental in the rise of anti-science and anti-vaccine movements. But I don't think essential oils need to be held in opposition to drug discovery or modern medicine. Many companies offer magnolia oil, and that product often contains hinoki oil. Plants and essential oils aren't a magic bullet, but they are an incredible resource for scientists searching for new medications. And organic chemistry is a valuable tool with which we can improve upon the work of nature. While developing these compounds, I didn't see myself in competition with Mother Nature. Rather, she was my greatest collaborator. Thank you.